Welcome to White City Place Connect, where we're offering occupiers of White City Place a live platform from which to learn and engage from the comfort and safety of your own home. My name's Dora, and welcome back if you've had a break. Please do listen to your body if you've been off your mat for a little while. You can do as much or as little as you like. Respect any tenderness in your body or your emotional state so that you can adjust and modify this practice. So it's a nurturing and nourishing practice. Okay, so we're just going to need our bodies today and our mat. And we'll come to lie down in Shavasana. And we're going to take the heels towards the front corners of the mat, so they're a little bit wider perhaps. And come to release the back and the skull towards the earth. Maybe lift the heart and slide the shoulder blades down the back so you can reach your arms slightly away from the sockets. And place your hands one on top of the other, just around the navel, slightly below, around and below the navel. And just spread the shoulders and the elbows so they can release to the floor. Close your eyes if that's comfortable. Your hands are resting on your center, the center of yourself, both physically and energetically. And have a sense of the breath that's moving towards and away from the hands. So taking the energy out of the head, out of the mind and down into the body. Just having a sense of this deep, nurturing belly breath that's already here. And we're going to be referencing away from and back towards this center point as we practice this lunchtime. Reaching your arms out now into a wide V shape with the palms facing upwards. And having a sense of your 6 limbs, so your 2 legs, your 2 arms, your tailbone, the crown of the head. As you inhale, feel how the breath emanates from the center point through the limbs, into the tips of the toes, the fingers, the crown of the head, the tailbone. And as you exhale, the breath draws back through the extremities, back to your core, back to your center. This is the natural pulsing action of the breath. Now listen carefully here. We're not going to move the arms and the legs. They stay exactly as they are. But on your next exhalation, can you imagine bringing the right elbow and the right knee towards one another? They don't move. You might feel a slight shortening between the hip and the armpit through the right side of the body. And then as you inhale, stretch that same leg and arm out a little bit more. Exhale, left elbow to left knee. Maybe feel a slight shortening in the left side of the body, as if the armpit and the hip may move slightly closer. And then extending the leg and the arm. And again, exhaling. Right elbow, left knee, as if they move towards one another, shortening a little bit more here in the right side of the waist, and then extending. Exhale, left elbow, left knee. And sliding away. This time on your next exhalation, actually bring the knee and the elbow to touch. So the foot slides up until it floats off the floor. Knee and elbow come to touch. Same elbow to knee. Inhale, extend the leg, extend the arm. Exhale, slide the outer edge of the foot off the earth until it needs to come up. Left elbow to left knee. Inhale, extend. One more time each side. Exhaling. So there's a shortening in the right side of the body, a lengthening in the left. Inhaling. Exhaling. Left knee to left elbow. Inhale. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Take the right hand over the front of the knee. Draw the knee in line with the cheek. Reach your left arm closer towards your ear, reaching back. And your left leg moves into the center of the mat. A little internal rotation so the heel is in line with the sit bone. Feel that length to the left side of the body from left fingertips to left toes. Press the right knee forward into your hand so you create a tension there. Right arm straightens. And then soften the hip flexor and draw that knee towards you. Swapping hands here, so the left hand comes onto the knee, the right arm comes out into a T shape on the earth. And take the knee across your body. Keep the right shoulder blade rooted into the earth, so only go as far as you can before that right shoulder starts to peel off, and turn your gaze towards the right thumb as you reach out. Breathe behind the navel, so referencing back towards your center. And then rolling onto your back once again. Interlace the hands behind the back of the right thigh. Stretch the right leg up towards the sky. No straining to straighten it. There might be a bend in the knee. And start to flex and point the foot. You close your eyes here. You might have a greater sensation of the tissues and the muscles that are being lengthened and strengthened through the back of the leg and the front of the shin as you do this. Then point your foot and flex your toes back. So you're pressing the ball of the foot up towards the sky. Slide your hands up the back of the leg to lift the chest off the floor, head and chest off the floor. Maybe float the left leg off, finding that half-pointed, half-flexed foot in that left foot also. Little internal rotation, tops of thighs towards the pubis. And you're going to support yourself with your core here as the navel drops down so that you can switch legs. Take a hold of the left calf. Switch legs, take a hold of the right. And again, switching, taking a hold of the right leg, and then lowering yourself down to the earth. Soften your right knee, soften the thigh towards you, no pulling, no forcing. Let the elbows open out to the sides. Notice if that right hip is hoiking up. So have a sense of the top of that thigh rolling forward and down. We're not pulling, we're not trying to get that leg close to us, just as it is, just the weight of the hands and gravity, chin towards the chest. And as you release the leg, float the arms onto the floor behind you, palms facing up, and slowly lower that right leg down, straighten it when you can. And as the heel comes to the floor, keep the body in the same shape, but let the elbows, knees, wrists and ankles relax. And just have a sense of any residue, perhaps to the right side of the body. Any difference between the right and the left sides. Maybe the right side feels a little longer, a little bit more spacious. Perhaps not. Don't take my word for it. Your experience will be your own experience. And there's no right or wrong way to feel here. Let's open up the body again into this starfish shape. So heels towards the front corners of the mat, wrists towards the back corners of the mat. Feel again your 6 limbs. Your 5th and 6th limb being the crown of the head and the tailbone. And as you exhale, draw the left knee and left elbow towards one another. Maybe they touch. The left hand comes onto the front of the knee, draw the knee in line with the cheek. Right arm reaches closer to the ear. Right leg draws in. Toes point straight up towards the sky. Press your knee forward into your hands so the arm straightens and there's space between the thigh and the body. And feel this long line through the right side of your body from fingertips to toes. Soften the left thigh back in towards you, relaxing the hip flexor, back of the neck long. And changing hands so the right hand comes over the knee, the left arm comes out to the side. Drawing the knee across the body, keeping the left shoulder blade plugged into the earth. So go as far as you can just before that left shoulder starts to peel off. Maybe look towards your left thumb. And breathe behind the navel. So you roll onto your back once again. Take a hold of the back of your left thigh. Stretch the leg up towards the ceiling. You can keep a softness in the knee. Keep that left hip plugging down. Close your eyes. Flex and point the foot. So when we close our eyes, we take away the visual distraction and the other senses become a little bit more acute. And we pay attention to what is happening in the body right now. Point the foot and just flex the toes back so you press the ball of the foot up towards the ceiling. Slide the hands up the back of the leg to lift the head and chest and press the leg forward to help you lift. So a little help with the leg here to begin with. Float the right leg off, take that half pointed, half flexed foot. Engage your core muscles so the navel drops down so that when you switch legs there's a moment in between where you're suspended. Switch again. Switch again. And coming back to your left leg. Releasing yourself back down to the floor, softening the knee. Just softening that leg towards you. It's a key word here. No forcing, no pulling, no bouncing. As you let go of the leg, the arms are going to float to the floor behind you, palms facing up. Start to slowly lower that left leg down. Straighten it when you can. And land it gently on the earth. Wonderful. So take the heels towards the front corners of the mat again. Open the arms a little bit. Starfish shape. Reference back towards your navel. Everything condenses back on the exhale and then expands out through the limbs and into the tips of the fingers, tailbone, crown of the head as you inhale. Exhale, drag the feet up the floor, both feet this time, and bring the knees and elbows to touch. And then we'll release the arms again up by the ears. Point the feet. And start to circle the knees inwardly towards one another. So we're stirring the femur heads in the sockets. Maybe the shins remain perpendicular to the floor. Notice how the core switches on as the knees move forward of the hips. So this might be a small movement, it might be a larger movement. There might be a little clunkiness in the hips, a little stickiness in one side more than the other. And then reverse this. Or it may feel that the femur heads are gliding nicely in the sockets. Whatever is your experience, that's your experience. There's no right or wrong. Wonderful. And then bring the knees above the hips, shins are parallel. Take that half pointed, half flexed foot once again. Raise the arms vertically and plug the shoulder blades back down into the earth. Make some soft fists with your hands and start to rotate just the wrists. So keep the elbows still. So just isolating this to the wrists. And then in the opposite way. Extend the fingers so the palms are facing one another. Keep your right arm where it is as you reach your right leg forward. Left thumb comes to the floor behind you. So diagonal movement pattern now. This is the inhale. As you exhale, bring it back through to the center. Left arm stays still. Left leg extends. Right thumb to the floor. Inhale. And exhale, bring it back. And again, inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale, opposite arm to leg. Exhale. Let's do one more time each side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Lovely. Take the hands behind the backs of the thighs. Press your thighs forward to your hands to lift yourself off the floor. You can stay here, or you can engage your core muscles and release the arms. Couple of breaths. Remember to breathe. And then taking a hold of the backs of the thighs once again. Press the thighs forward, come up to seated. Wiggle the feet together here. And stretch the legs forward, flexing your feet. And reach your arms forward from the shoulders. Spread the balls of the feet. Draw the outer edges of your feet back towards your outer shins. And as you exhale, we're going to roll down here. So keep looking towards your toes. Eventually placing the head to the floor. So it's a long exhale. Tuck the chin in, see the toes, and as you inhale, reach towards your pinky toes as you come back up. And then come forward towards a Paschimottanasana with a flat back, and then back up. So this is our movement. We're going to try that 2 more times. Exhaling, rolling down, navel to spine. Tuck the chin in. Inhale, reach towards your pinky toes to come up. And exhale, hinge forward, reaching forward. One more time. Exhaling, rolling down. Inhale, tuck the chin in, roll yourself up. Exhaling, and inhaling back to center. Lovely. Place the hands down, just unravel your mat if it's been coming back with you. My next movement is to draw the left foot up onto the top of the thigh into a Janu Shirshasana. Maybe just want to have a little look at this movement before we do it, because you're going to be turning to face away from me at some point. The left hand's going to come around, fingers point away. Sweep yourself up, hold of the right foot grounds. Inhale. My left shin is to the floor. Exhale, I'm going to roll and pivot all the way to the other side. Right hand to the floor. Come onto the ball of the left foot, right leg is straight. Join in when you wish. Left knee comes to the floor. Inhale. Sweep the arm by the cheek. Exhale, come around all the way to the other side. Let the breath inflate the body. Come back down. So we'll do that one more time each side, because you've had a little practice run to see. Inhale. Exhale. And over. Inhaling right up onto the ball of the left foot. Exhale, come down. Let the left knee drop out. Take the hands behind you. Lean back a little bit. So maybe you can release that thigh bone a little bit further towards the floor. And then raise the left knee and slide the leg forward. Walking your hands up. We'll do the same with the right leg. So you're going to draw the right knee up, sole of the foot onto the top of the thigh. Take the right hand around, come onto the shin, whole of the left foot grounds, inhale. Exhale, spiral around, inhale, right up into the ball of the right foot. Just one more time. Inhaling, so you lift up onto the shin the first time. Exhale as you transition through. Inhale right up onto the ball of the foot. And then release down. Wonderful. Let your right knee drop out. Walk your hands back a little bit. So as you lean back, you might be able to release the knee down a little bit more. And then lift the knee. Slide the leg forward. Push away from the hands to come upright. And we're going to curl the shins around. Come onto our hands and knees. Tuck the toes behind the knees and come to sit down onto the heels. Modified child's pose, extending the arms. Really plant the palms into the earth, draw the arm bones back into the sockets. Hug the outer ankle bones in if they're splaying out. Inhale, come up onto your hands and knees. Draw the shoulder blades up the back. Float the knees off the floor so they're just hovering. Shift the entire spine back in one piece. And then lead with your sit bones as you unfold into your first down dog. So just an innocent down dog, especially if it's the first one of the year. Whatever feels good here, you could bend one knee and then the other, or you can just be still and breathe. Soften the elbows. Lovely, and then push the mat forward with your hands as you walk your hands back towards your feet. Stand at the back of your mat, feet are hip distance apart. Navel to spine to support your lower back. Let your head go. Fingertips can be on the floor in front of your toes, or you might want to flip the palms upwards so the tips of the fingers are touching. Maybe nod and shake the head a little bit here. Weight is dropping straight down to the center of each foot. Lovely. Lengthen your heart forward into space. Keep the chin softening towards the throat. Bring the hands into prayer and support the sternum with your thumbs. Lengthen the heart forward into space with the thumbs, and the knees are soft here as you come all the way up to standing with a flat back, using the legs to root down. Release the arms down by your sides, reach towards the outer ankle bones, draw the shoulder blades down the back, and just walk yourself forward towards the front of the mat. Take your left toes out, so the tip of the big toe is on the floor there, and your right arm comes up by your ear. So you've got this diagonal movement pattern here. A reference back towards your navel, the core of yourself, the center of yourself, and reach out from that point. So maybe the left leg floats off the floor. From your navel, contract the navel back, and as you exhale, left knee to right elbow. And don't worry if you're doing on the other leg. Forgive yourself if you end up facing the wrong way or on the opposite leg. It's all fine. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to elbow. Now as you step back with those left toes into a lunge, switch arms so the left arm rises. You've got opposite arm to leg here. Other arm is just draping down. Imagine you're holding onto a rope with that extended arm. Keep the height in your spine as you softly lower the back knee to the floor. As you take the left hand to the floor, you're going to twist your chest. Right arm rises and the back knee lifts. Circle the arm forward, one full circle, exhale and inhale. Exhale. Inhale. One more time. One full round of breath for each rotation. And then planting the palm to the floor. Step back into a high plank. Keep the base of the skull lifted, inner thighs lifted. Lower knees, chest and chin as you exhale. Inhale, lengthen through, lengthen toes. Exhale, lift the navel. Tuck your toes, lead with your tailbone as you unfold, softening the elbows here. Couple of breaths here, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Just feel how the breath moves the body. One more breath. And sinking your left heel, float your right leg up behind you. Look into the space between your hands. Step your foot into the space. Creep your fingertips forward, making little cups with your hands. Shift the weight over. Maybe the left leg rises. And then lower the leg down, placing the feet hip distance apart. Soften your knees. Fold towards your shins. Lengthen the heart forward. Thumbs come underneath the sternum. Reach the heart forward, support your chest as you come up to standing. And release the arms down by your sides, reaching down towards your outer ankles. Shoulder blades slide down the back. You're going to turn around. Take your right toes out to the side. Little internal rotation that thigh. Left arm comes up by your ear. So you've got this diagonal movement pattern away from the navel. Perhaps you extend into space so much that that leg floats off. And draw the navel back, knee to elbow, exhale. Inhale, extend out. Exhale, knee and elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee and elbow. Step back with your right toes, switch arms. The right arm comes up by your ear, just gently wrapping the right side of your body forward. Imagine you're holding onto a rope here and softly land the back knee. Keep the height in the spine. As you float your right hand to the floor, the left arm circles back and up, the knee lifts. Pull your left hip back in space. Circle the arm over by the cheek, exhale and inhale. One full rotation here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Take the hands to the floor. Step back into a high plank. Spread the shoulder blades, soften the elbows. Inner eyes of the elbows turn to face one another. Lower knees, chest and chin. Inhale, lengthen through, lengthen the toes. Exhale, lift the navel. Tuck your toes and lead with your tailbone back into your downward facing dog. Could we slide the right hand back, soften the elbow in a little bit, so the hand is still flat. And maybe bring your left knee towards your right upper arm, so it crosses. And then take the toes back. Slide your right hand forward. Other way, left hand slides back, have it flat on the floor, elbow hugs in a little bit, and right knee comes across to the left upper arm. Take the toes back, stretching the arm forward. Take 3 luscious breaths here in your down dog. Feel the spine suspended. So the spine is reaching forward through the crown of the head into the space in front of you and beyond the perineum into the space above you. As you sink your right heel, the left leg floats up behind you. Look into the space between your hands, step your foot through. Reach the fingertips forward, so as you make this transition over the left leg, right leg floats up. And then release the foot down. Let's place the feet together here and just come and sit all the way down onto the heels. Separate the knees. Fingertips are on the floor. So we're going to, same action of drawing the belly back and then extending. As you exhale, slide the knees up towards the armpits. Navel back to spine. Inhale, extend. Exhale, slide the knees up the upper arms. Draw the belly back, heels lift. Inhale, extending. One more time, exhaling. Navel draws back. Inhaling, sinking the heels. As you begin to straighten your legs, bring the knees together, walk the hands back, fold over your legs. Uttanasana. Separate the feet hip distance apart, take the thumbs underneath the sternum. Lift and lengthen the heart forward as you come all the way up to standing. And release the arms down by your side, shift the weight onto the right leg, left toes come out to the side, right arm by the ear. Just going to do it once this time. As you exhale, draw the knee in, navel back to spine. Step back with those left toes, left arm rises. Holding on to that imaginary rope, soften the back knee down to the floor. Circle left hand to floor, lift the back knee, right arm rises. Push down into the feet and come onto the tips of your left fingers. So your legs are supporting you. And then with a twist, can you pull yourself upright, shoulders above the hips, left arm forward, right arm back. Float the left fingertips to the front of the shoulder, and then circle the arm over the head like a little swan lake. Windmill yourself all the way to the opposite side in a warrior two. And if that was a tricky little transition or you couldn't see me, just find yourself in a warrior two with the right knee bent. Float your right arm up as you inhale and let the arm just drape over the head so you lift the elbow. Maybe look towards that back leg. Inhale, pass through, swing the hips back. Exhale, briefly touch Trikonasana. Inhaling, coming up. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, swing the hips back. Exhale, Trikonasana. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhaling, we're going to pause here in our Trikonasana. There's a little external rotation in the top of your right thigh, little internal rotation in your back thigh. You could stay here, it's reaching out through your 6 limbs, or take that top arm over by the cheek. Reaching out. Great. Using both legs to come all the way back up. Turn your right toes in. Right arm comes up by the ears and the feet are parallel. Slide the left hand down the outer thigh as you come over. Little lateral stretch. As you come up, arms out to the side, spin your heels in and wrap your right elbow underneath your left. Garudasana arms, wide-legged squat. Wonderful. Try not to harden in the lower back, so you might need to lean your spine forward a little bit. Broaden your sit bones. And then rising up here, spin the heels out to get all the toes in, depending on how wide you are. Bend your right knee, and like a samurai sword, cut the air. Take your elbows either to the shin or to the ankle or to the foot. Now you could keep your right knee bent here, or you could begin to straighten it, your choice. Lengthen the heart towards the tips of the fingers. Left ear turns towards the earth as if you're listening to the earth. As you re-bend your right knee, swivel yourself around towards the front into a lunge and step back into a high plank. Let's lower knees, chest and chin, unless you want a stronger variation of your vinyasa today. Lift your navel, tuck your toes, downward facing dog as you lead with the tailbone. Then feel your spine suspended. So there's a softness and a malleability to the spine. Spine extending through the crown of the head and into the space beyond, through the perineum and into the space above. As you sink your left heel, float your right leg up behind you. Step the foot forward into the space between your hands. Creep the fingertips forward as you float this leg up behind. And then float the leg down. Feet are hip distance apart. Fold towards your shins. Let the crown of the head drop. Hands into prayer. Support your sternum. Reach your heart forward into space and use your hands to help you up here. Lovely. Arms reach down. Fingers reach towards the outer ankle bones, lifting the moons of your armpits. Take your right toes out. A little internal rotation in that leg. Your left arm up and out. From your navel center, reach out. Extend into infinity. Exhale, knee and elbow move towards one another. Step back with your right toes, switch arms. The right arm comes up by your ear as if you're holding onto a rope here. Softly lower your back knee down. As you take your right hand to the floor, left arm rises, back knee rises. Push down through the feet, squeeze the inner thighs so you can come onto the tips of your right fingers. Lift your shoulders above your hips, right arm forward, left arm back. Right fingers drift around towards the front of the shoulder. You could look towards your left thumb. And then as the arm drapes over your head like a swan lake, like a big feather, open up into your warrior two. So you spiral in completely the opposite direction. Raise your left arm up, drape the arm over, and look behind you towards your back ankle. Inhale as you pass through, swing the hips back. Exhale, briefly touch Trikonasana. Inhale, come up. Exhale, bend the knee, reverse warrior. Inhaling, swing the hips back. Exhale, Trikonasana. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhale, hand lands lightly on the shin. You can stay here, expanding out and referencing back towards that navel. 6 limbs. That top arm can turn. The arm comes closer to the cheek than the ear as you reach out. Using both legs to come all the way back up. Turn your left toes in. Left arm comes up by your ear. Right arm slides down the outside of the leg. As you come back up, spin the heels in. Left arm comes under the right. Garudasana arms. Deep, wide squat. Think of broadening the sit bones, which may help to release a little bit of tension in the lower back. As you rise up again, depending how wide you are, heels in, out, or toes in. Bend your left knee, sweep the elbow across towards the shin, or the ankle, or the foot. Slicing the air. Right ear turns to listen to the earth, and maybe you want to begin to straighten that leg. Maybe not. Lengthen the heart towards the tips of the fingers here. If you straighten the leg, re-bend it, spin yourself around here to face the left foot. Step back into a high plank. Vinyasa or no vinyasa, you could just drop into a child's pose. And back into a downward facing dog. So maybe this pose is feeling a little bit more balanced now as we've taken the weight out of the shoulders, into the hips and down the legs. Spine is soft and lengthening. Check that the head isn't dipping too much, so the crown of the head is the top of the spine and extending beyond, spine suspended, but in a different orientation, in an inversion here. Sinking your right heel, float your left leg up behind you. Step the foot into the space between your hands. Creep the fingertips forward, like right leg floats up behind. And float the leg down so the feet are together. And again, you're going to sit down onto your heels. Sit down onto your heels. Separate the knees here. Bringing the elbows inside your knees. So just release your tailbone up behind you. With the elbows inside the knees, pull your prayer hands down so that you've got one line with your forearms. You might feel this sense of hasta bandha, this little stickiness in the hand, like a little suction pad with the shoulder blades down the back. Now this might not create too much external movement, maybe a little bit more internal movement. Squeeze the elbows towards the knees and scoop the belly back. On the exhale. Inhale, extend. And if you need to take the hands to the floor for more stability, that's totally fine. Exhale, knees press to elbows, scoop the lower belly back. Inhale, extend. Press knees to elbows, scoop the lower belly back. Inhale, extend. Take the fingertips to the floor. Lift your hips, squeeze the knees together. Walk the hands back so the forehead travels towards the shins. Bring the hands into prayer, thumbs underneath the sternum. Lengthen your heart forward as you come all the way up to standing. Release the arms down by your sides and just separate the feet here. Lengthen the left toes out, right arm out, extend into space. Exhale, right elbow to left knee. Step back, switching arms just as we've done. Float your left hand to the floor and the right arm's going to rise. There's a couple of choices here, and you could do both, take it in stages. As you flip onto the outer edge of your back foot, the right foot comes halfway down your mat. You might want to stay here. This might be your Vashisthasana today. Or you can bring right elbow to right knee. And maybe slide the foot on top. Arm comes over by the cheek. Take the hand to the floor. Swivel yourself back around into a downward facing dog. Sink your left heel, float your right leg up behind you. And step the foot forward in between the hands. Lower your back knee down and pivot on the knee so your shin crosses the top edge of your mat. Walk yourself back so you're going to see if you can sit behind the leg. Please be careful of your knee if that wasn't a comfortable transition. And then take the ankle underneath the knee. Use your hands to square the hips towards the top edge of your mat. So you've got your left ankle underneath the knee, flexing the foot. Unless that's uncomfortable, and you can come back to Janu Shirshasana with the foot inside the thigh. This could be quite a nice way just to not lock out the knee joint and float the arms out and up. Feel your sit bones dropping down. And twisting from the inner body, so using the internal muscles, twist towards your bent knee, reaching up and rooting at the same time. Float the left thumb behind you, the right hand over the thigh. Being careful not to pull that knee up or press it down, just let it be neutral. Breathing here. The breaths, no forcing. And then floating the arms out into a wide V shape and twisting in the opposite direction towards the straight leg. As your left hand floats over the shin, the right thumb drops to the floor behind you. Root into the fingers to create lift. If you wish to, you could lean forward over the leg a little bit. So still in a twist. And using the fingertips to create that lift out of the pelvis. Couple of breaths here. So you come back up, slide the hand onto the knee and just bring your right ankle underneath the knee here. So you've got that left arm crossing. Back arm comes up and over so the elbows are crossing. Hands on opposite knees. Start to come forward here. I might just turn forward so you can see this. Maybe you want to walk the sit bones back 1 and 2. Coming forward, maybe with the arms crossed. Possibly the elbows hook over the shins. If you wanted more, you could turn the palms up and slide the backs of the hands away from one another. Chin moving over the upper arms. If you've gone too low and the sensations are too intense, come up a little bit. You want to be able to be here and breathe here without gripping or resisting the sensation. And finding your own comfortable edge. Lovely. And as you come in back up here, take the hands onto the knees, draw your knees together, uncross your feet and ankles. So you're squeezing the knees together here with your hands in opposition. Maybe come into a half boat pose. You could raise the arms, cross the right ankle over the left, draw the knees towards the armpits, keep the feet off the floor so there's that scooping of the belly once again. And however you can, maybe flipping over, we're just going to step back into a down dog. Any other way back into this pose. Bending one knee and then the other. Getting the fluids, and the blood moving back around into the joints. Let's simply walk the feet forward towards the backs of the wrists for the second side of our last vinyasa. Thumbs underneath the heart. Send the heart forward into space, coming all the way up. Wonderful. I'm going to turn around. Right toes extend out. Left arm up by the ear. Reference back to your navel and then away from your navel. Exhale, knee and elbow move towards one another. Swapping hands. Right arm, left leg forward. Take the right hand to the floor, left arm rises. Maybe come onto the outer edge of your right foot and step your left foot back about halfway down the mat. Let me turn this other way so you can see it this side. Here might be where you are. Or you could possibly bring elbow to knee. Same movement pattern we did earlier. Slide the foot onto the ankle and the arm comes over by the cheek. Taking the hands to the floor, pivot back into a down dog. Sinking your left heel, right heel, float your left leg up behind you. Left leg rises. Step the foot in between the hands. Come onto the tips of the fingers. Lower your back knee. Pivot on the back knee so the shin crosses. If your knee's okay with this, or any other way, to sit down. I'm going to place my ankle underneath the knee, flexing the foot. And just lift and square the hips towards the short edge of your mat. So Sajjana Shirshasana, foot can be underneath the ankle can be underneath the knee, or you can have the foot in a more traditional position on the upper thigh. Floating your arms up, root down through the sit bones. Twist from the inner body towards the front knee. Right thumb releases down, left hand to the outside of the thigh. Take your twist without forcing the knee down or pulling it up. Breathing here. Keep the spine malleable. Floating the arms up. Twist in the opposite direction towards the straight leg. Left arm behind you, right hand to the outside of the leg. This might be enough. You can slide the hand down towards the ankle, using those back fingertips to power yourself out of the lower back. Try not to shorten the back of the neck or lift the face too much here. As you come back, the hand slides onto the knee. Fold the left ankle underneath the knee, so in a cross-legged position. Back arm comes up and over to cross. So you've got crossed arms, hand on opposite knees here. Start to come forward. So you might be here, elbows just bending, maybe resting on the shins. Or you could take the elbows to the floor in front of you. Maybe even turn the palms up. And slide the fingers away from you, lower chin over the arms. A couple of breaths here. Make your way up slowly. Arms are still crossed, hands onto knees. Draw the knees towards one another. Lean back so you can uncross the ankles. Squeeze the knees together with opposite hands. So you might come into a boat pose, half boat pose. You could stay there, you could release the arms. Cross the left ankle over the right. Squeeze the knees towards the armpits. Keep the feet off the floor. Oops, so the belly is scooping back. Be careful if you're going to roll back, there's no piece of furniture to fall into here. And then however you can, you're going to take this into your very last down dog. Just pedaling out the legs. Enjoying the symmetry and now neutrality of this pose. Let's come into a child's pose. Making this our transitionary pose. From all of that effort towards our final pose, where we receive all the benefits of expanded energy, presence and attention today. Walking your hands back towards you. Bring the knees together, hips to one side. Stretch your legs out in front of you. And come towards the front of the mat. Releasing yourself down onto the earth. Maybe the feet come a little bit wider and just windscreen wiper the knees from side to side, turning your head to the opposite side of your knees. Or anything else that you feel you intuitively need, so to be comfortable and relaxed in your final pose. You could keep your knees bent and maybe drop them in to touch one another. If that's more comfortable for your lower back. So heels will be wider than your sit bones. Or you can stretch your legs forward. Lovely. And the palms towards the ceiling. Make sure you're warm and comfortable. And settle yourself in here for the last few minutes of your practice. Knowing that there's nowhere else you should be, nothing else you should be doing. Take a final scan through your body, noticing if there are any parts that you could allow to dissolve, surrendering, just beginning to settle here, then settle in some more. Stay here if you wish until your Shavasana has run its natural course. If instead you know you need to finish your practice on time, or you wish to conclude your practice with myself, then just reference everything back towards your navel. Feel as you inhale, the breath emanate from this place through the limbs into the tips of the fingers and the toes, and as you exhale, the breath draws back. So coming back to that pulsing action of the breath that engages your whole body, one sensory organ. And keeping your eyes closed and in no hurry, you can slide the feet to the floor. If your legs are extended, just give yourself a moment to let your lower back soften. Feel the earth beneath your feet. When you're ready, you can roll yourself over to the right side, just taking the hand onto the floor by your face. Pause for a moment there. Using your left hand against the support of the earth, spiral your way back to any comfortable seat, whatever that is for you. Bring your hands into prayer and bow your head towards the tips of your fingers, and bow your heart also. When you're ready, lift the heart, gently open the eyes. Namaste. Thank you everybody for joining me. Go gently and have a peaceful day.